Let's bring in our experts. Joining me in Alexandria, Virginia, body language expert, New York Times best-selling author of You Can't Lie to Me, Janine Driver's with us. You can also check her out on TikTok at Body Language Institute. And in New York City, psychotherapist, host of Talking Live on Facebook Watch and the Bite Side podcast, Dr. Robi Ludwig. Great to see you both. Let me play a little bit of what happened in court today. Let's take a look at Lori Daybell and tell me what you think.
Because the crime is the agreement and then taking an overt act in furtherance of it. It's not the completion. It's not the completion of the crime. The crime is the agreement, and the case law on that is clear. And so even if the jury is entitled to see those elements, which they will in this case because they've been charged with those separate crimes as well, they don't have to find those elements. They don't have to find a single element of those crimes to find the crime of conspiracy. I found no case law to suggest that's the case. And I don't believe there is any case law to suggest that.
So there she is listening to the prosecutor, Janine Driver. I'll begin with you.
All right, right out of the gate. There's a lot, by the way. I took a ton of notes here for tonight's segment. I know we don't have a lot of time. So number one, we see this head tilt. We see this a lot with her in court today, Vinny and Dr. Robi, where she'll often lean her right ear. This is called REA, right ear activation. If you're trying to hear people talking near you, you lean your right ear towards them, especially kids under the age of 13. They do this all the time, but what studies now show are adults as well. When we really want to tune someone in, we see that often with her. But here she shakes her head and laughs. This is this very contemptuous laugh. She also does this eyebrow flash. The eyebrow goes up, which is surprise here. This particular clip that you pulled, Vinny, reminds me very much of Martin Shkreli. I don't know if you remember him. He skyrocketed the price for AIDS medicine. He later went to jail for some other stuff. But when he was up on the Hill, he had this very contemptuous smirk and laughing, this just incredibly contemptuous behavior. However, there are spikes in stress for sure that we see, and I'm interested in what Dr. Robi has to say as well.
Dr. Robi Ludwig, your thoughts tonight. I was speaking with Kay and Larry Woodcock, JJ's grandparents, and Larry said this whole thing's a facade. She is scared out of her mind. What are your thoughts?
You know, I think this woman is psychotic and delusional. And even though she may be competent now to stand trial, I think that there's a strong delusional system going on, even a fully ado, which means that you have a shared psychotic system that she shared with her husband. So I don't know what she believes. I don't know if she really feels superior and that she has an understanding of what God wanted her to do, and all these people around her are actors and have no clue what's really going on. This woman is a lot sicker than she looks. She's a pretty lady. So sometimes when people are pretty, we can get fooled into thinking they are better than they are. So although we see the stress and the wrinkles in her face, it's uncomfortable for her. I do think that she's not plugged in the way a normal person would be plugged in. There's a delusional system there that's getting her to believe something that's taking her away from the brevity of the situation that she's in.
Okay, Janine Driver, Dr. Robi Ludwig staying with us. We're going to have more of Lori Daybell in court today, plus coming up next hour. And on the docket tonight in Pike County, Ohio, the Family Feud murder trial, brutal accusations, and 8 family members massacred in one day. We have a preview of this upcoming trial on CourtTV.
Each one of the victims appears to have been executed. Each one of the victims appears to be shot in the head.
The state has pled in count 2 of the indictment that the murder of Tyler Ryan occurred on or between September 8th and September 9th. So that would be the end of that conspiracy. The conspiracy to commit the crime would have been completed, and the conspiracy to the murder would have been over.
We're taking a look at Lori Daybell inside the courtroom today. We've got our special guest still with us, Janine Driver, body language expert, and psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig. Let's take a look now. Lori Daybell here, listening to the prosecutor, but I want everyone to take a close look at her left hand. Let's take a look.
As Mr. Thomas did state, that is controlling. It's the Supreme Court of the state of Idaho. That analysis starts, their analysis starts with a discussion of Ring versus Arizona, which is the case that found that death penalty needs to be found by a jury. And that case has been interpreted by some to provide that there should be a probable cause finding of aggravating factors, even though the Supreme Court did not actually find that.
Dr. Robi Ludwig, you're not allowed to have jewelry behind bars. She's got a ring, though. She made a ring for herself. What do you think that tells us about her and Chad Daybell at this point?
Well, we know that jewelry can be a linking item. So clearly, Lori wants to show that she is linked to her husband. I think this is her soulmate. This is the person that she is very much in sync and connected to, and everybody else is almost irrelevant. And she wants to reveal that to everyone in the world. She's very proud to be Chad's wife. In her mind, this gives her status. It's the two of them against the world. And I think this ring that she made is an indication that she is very much connected to him, linked with him, and wants to show her loyalty to him as well.
It was shocking, amazing, unbelievable, because, you know, you've got co-defendants, murder trial, yet it seems like they are still linked. Let's take a listen now. The defense there, you can take a close look at it, proudly displaying that ring in court. Here's John Thomas, defense attorney. Here's Lori again reacting to everything. Let's take a look.
Brings the jury into a position of we find them either guilty or not guilty. Not, well, guilty of the grand theft, but not of the murder. And it just makes it so that there's too many questions for the jury. I'm not saying that the jury isn't sophisticated enough to sort through that, but I've been practicing law for 20 years, and this particular charge baffled me, and I had to work through it, and I still am having issues working through it.
All right, Janine Driver, three things people were talking about today: the ring, the smiles in the beginning, and then also these lines running through her head. And what the defense attorney was talking about is how confusing some of these charges may be for the jury.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the lines in the forehead. You have some right now that I can see. These are literally called Einstein lines. And so the deeper they are, I don't have them actually. It's hard to see them. You have them. People who have them very deep, which we do see with Lori Daybell, these are people who go really deep on a topic. So they'll go really deep. You'll often see this with actors. You'll know, like, so you have like three there. So it's not just you're on television, you're also a lawyer. Who knows? Maybe you're also an EMT. I don't know, right? So there's a lot happening. So we see these foreheads when they, wrinkles rather, when she pulls together like this stress right here. This is that, I don't know what you're talking about. Look, a couple seconds after this, she even does this lip pursing to the side. And I took a screenshot, but I didn't have time to send it to your producers. She does this weird thing. Her whole face contorts, and this is strong disagreement. So if you're ever in a meeting, Vinny or Dr. Robi or you at home, and someone has gone to the side, this is strong disagreement. They don't like what's happening. So I do believe there is some stress going on here. So although we have this happiness, this laughter, in my world it's called duping delight. He, I say. We laugh. He. We smile for H is happiness, E is embarrassment, and the last E is evil. The stooping delight. It's like, I'm going to get away with this. So there's a lot happening. Sorry, Robi, I know you wanted to chime in there.
No, I just wanted to say that in my world, we call it inappropriate affect. And so her facial expressions are so inappropriate for what's going on. That's what leads me to believe whatever her thoughts are, it's very disconnected and distorted from what is actually happening around her. So whatever meaning she's attaching to her world, it's very different than what a normal, healthy mind would,
it's connected to evil.
To.
There was a guy named Neil Entwistle who murdered his wife and his young daughter. She was a newborn baby. And when they showed in the courtroom, Vinny, the bloody onesie of the baby, he starts smiling underneath his hands. And the old CourtTV called me in and said, what's going on there? That duping delight, it's like, I'm getting away with it. If you fire someone from your company and they do that little evil smile, you should be concerned. They may be doing more than just keying the side of your car. This is evil because it is inappropriate here. It's called duping delight. It's, you think I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to get away with it. And maybe not in the court of law. Maybe she thinks she did right by her version of God. Who knows?
And the end whistle case, I remember that was out of Massachusetts.
Yes.
One more follow-up, Janine Driver. I am not an EMT, but I am a DJ.
See, there you go. I knew there was a third wrinkle in there.
That could be the third wrinkle for me. All right, Janine Driver, Dr. Robi Ludwig, taking a look at the body of evidence tonight. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you again real soon.
Love you guys.
All right. When we